We vibing with another show. Tell me everybody, can you catch this flow? We're breaking down mental glass and so you know who we win. Tony, Dixon, and friends. They tell me that the sky's the limit. Your purpose calling you, baby, you make the difference. Take charge, do you know who you win? Tony, Dixon, and friends. Who we win? Tony, Dixon, and friends. Yeah, yeah. Tony, Dixon, and friends. Tony, Dixon, and friends. Who we win? Tony, Dixon, and friends.
Welcome back to another episode of the Tony Dixon and Friends podcast. My name is Eric McCalpine, and our goal is to educate and inspire you to break those mental glass ceilings in your life. And I'm here with another episode with my big brother, Mr. Kecalf Bailey.
What's
iron
up?
sharp as iron, baby.
Iron sharp as iron. Yes, it does.
Come on, man. And then I'm also here with Mr. TD himself. TD, what's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing, fella?
Man, life is good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to share something with you, right?
Come on.
So I find myself walking out in the store and stuff like that, and through the mall and just out and about, and people are always commenting on the shirts, because I've got a couple of the shirts that I wear. I actually got an iron sharp as iron shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm walking out and people always tell me, hey, I like that shirt. I like that. That means a lot to me. You good, bro?
You good, bro?
Hey,
Yeah.
and people always talk about the merchandise or the shirts that I'm wearing. But Tony, I got to ask you a question. If some of our viewers are looking to get some of the merchandise to help support the purpose and the cause of the Tony Dixon Foundation and the Tony Dixon and Friends podcast, where can they get it?
Yeah, no, good question, man. So Tony Dixon Foundation, we do have a website, so you can go there. The short version of it is tdf24.com. And that's, obviously the acronym for Tony Dixon Foundation. 24 is my football number.com. Or if that's too hard for you, if you can remember TonyDixon.com, it'll point there as well. Or if you want to type and you can type 100 words per minute, feel free to type it all in, TonyDixonFoundation.com, and all of those will get you to that. Go in there at the top at the menu, click the 3 lines, hit shop, TDF shop, and it'll take you there where you can find shirts, hats, and some other things. Even the notebook that Eric has over there can be purchased on the website, and proceeds go to benefit the Tony Dixon and Friends and Tony Dixon Foundation. But we're using this Tony Dixon and Friends also to benefit the Tony Dixon Foundation, which is youth development, breaking mental glass ceilings one dream at a time.
So, question for you, Eric.
Yeah.
So, I see we got black on. If I want to switch it up, does it come in different colors?
Listen, when you're talking about switching it up and coming in different colors, you don't know my wife. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Kel, the shirts come in a couple of different colors.
That's right.
So I'm gonna tell you a little story. Shay, I love you. Okay, I want to make sure you know that I love you. I ordered some shirts because I wanted to make sure I have a couple of shirts to rotate out while we're doing the podcast. The shirts came in, and immediately my wife attacked me. Hey, so you just ordered shirts for yourself? So I was like, hold on. No, ma'am. I just wanted to get something in because I had to defend myself. Yeah. I had to get some in. And I was like, no, baby, I just wanted to make sure that these shirts are going to fit right. Let's sit down and order some more. So we've got some smoke gray shirts.
Right.
They come in burgundy.
Yep.
They come in red, navy blue. All of the shirts come in a variety of colors. And if you're not like a sneaker guru and you got to have the shirts to match the kicks as well, you can do that as well.
That's right.
Yep. Right. So look, man, enough about merchandise.
That's right.
We here to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I got to get to the conversation because one of the things that I think many of us are working on right now is being impatient. We find ourselves in a microwave society that we want everything to happen so fast, and we want things right here, right now. You find yourselves when you're traveling up and down the highway where people are going so fast, they're going in and out of the traffic lanes, or people are running the red lights, or people are, they're just going so fast. People are running the stop signs. And we can oftentimes find ourselves putting ourselves in a position. I use the traffic as an example, but it can apply to anything. Whether it's you trying to run too fast for work, whether it's you trying to run so fast through relationships, or just making, impatient decisions, impulse decisions. But when you think about it, it could be something that if you slow down a little bit, it can be something bigger out there for you, or you being patient can put you in a better position that can be protecting you from something else. Do you find yourself, Kecalf, being impatient?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time, man. And it's easy to get wrapped up in just the hustle and bustle of just life, right? So many things going on, and you're rushing. You find yourself just rushing to get things done. That's just the day to day. But even long term things where you have a goal or something that you set out to do, who wants to wait for that to materialize, right? We all want it to happen and want it to happen now, and I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. But look, you remember when we was growing up playing video games, right? You remember when you were playing video games. How many of you out there remember the Nintendo? You remember that Nintendo, right? What you used to do, you put it in and it didn't work. You put why were you doing that?
Hey man, gotta get that dust out.
You gotta get that dust out because you was ready to get that game. You was ready to get that game, right? You was rushing.
Oh,
if it didn't work, pop it out and put it in another one, right? But why did you want okay, so I'm the only one that played Nintendo.
No, you ain't the only one, man. Hey, let me tell you, man. Speaking of impatience, let me tell you a story, man. So I'll never forget a Nintendo game. My cousin Kelvin Bonner, man, he came down. He stayed in Michigan, came down for the summer. So before I even got to Nintendo, Kevin had the Nintendo. So he comes down, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out the remote. At that point, all I had played was Atari. Boop, boop. Right? You remember the little dial?
Yeah.
That's all I played. But I sat there, and the first game I was exposed to on Nintendo was Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers, right? That man, sitting there seeing Mario, Luigi, and seeing the tunnels that you go through, and the little, being able to jump and understanding how to jump high. I'm sitting there fascinated by this game, and my cousin is playing it with ease, man. So it immediately became a competition. So of course, before that, now it's down to my dad. Like, I got to have this game for Christmas, right? Because this was the summer that I saw it. So guess what? Got that J.C. Penney's catalog. Everybody know about that J.C. Penney catalog. Start doing them pages, man. Dialing them pages up, putting it on the table, just so my parents know what I want for Christmas. But the main thing I wanted was that Nintendo. So I get the Nintendo, and we're talking about impatience. It's all about a competition. So the first thing I figured out in Nintendo, that if you actually went in certain tunnels, it would actually warp you to another world, right? And what ended up happening is it became a speed race to see how fast I could beat the game. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about this dynamic is I warped through all these worlds that I never were exposed to. But I got to the end of the game and figured out how to beat the dragon, right? One day, I was challenged to play the game and go through every single level, every single world, without getting to that flagpole and getting the extra lives, the little cheat from the turtle. I was challenged to figure out, to have to go through the whole game to beat it. And you know what happened? I ended up going into worlds I was never exposed to. And even though I knew how to beat the game, I knew how to get to the end, I knew how to get there with ease to beat the dragon, when I was challenged to go through every stage of the game, I didn't have the experience nor the skill to complete it. So what I found out in that moment was my impatience allowed me to have success to beat the dragon. I knew how to beat the dragon. But it's so many things I didn't learn along the way. And that's what I learned about the negative power of impatience. How many times have you figured out, and if you're going through life and rushed through it, even had the success, right? But when challenges hit you,
Yeah.
You had not built the skill to be equipped to win the entire game.
Ooh. Yeah. 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 I like that. I like that. Because I see that so much. What this takes me to is, and I'm gonna go to. I told you guys all now. I'm a sales leader, and I'm responsible for leading people. I lead managers, right? And one of the things that I see a lot of times, or a big part of my role, is development of others, development of people, and we all come across those people that want that promotion and they want it right now. They feel like that they should have this role. But when you start talking about, all right, here's some experiences that you're going to need to have. I know this experience may not ultimately be what you want to do, but it's going to be critical for you to get it, for you to be successful when you get to that level. And so many times people are like, oh, no, I don't need that. And when they get into those roles, if they do get that promotion without those critical experiences, guess what happened? They find themselves working somewhere else because they can't make it. Yeah. So that's what immediately stood out to me when you said that. So you can make it to that level, all right? But when it comes back to those experiences that you need to fall back on, guess what? You have no point of reference.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about from an athletic perspective, I think about it from an athletic perspective. It's one thing for you to be the man on the team, and you can put up numbers. You can put up numbers. You can put up numbers. But what I also reflect on are the people that put you in the position as leaders to allow you to put up numbers because they know that you can do it, but don't allow you to develop those skills and to develop those experiences. If you're trying to race and chase a number, whether it's because Kecalf, we all are sales professionals today. If you're trying to rush and chase that number, got it, but you found all the cheat codes. You found all the cheat codes, and you're robbing yourself from experience. And when you find yourself in a difficult situation, you shook up. You shook up. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle disappointment, setbacks, because once you do it, now TD, I want to go back to the Nintendo because you just started something. Come on. Once you rush to the end one time, that's what you expect out of everything. And you started with Mario, but there's also other video games or games of life that once we make it to the end, we expect it to be that same way all the time. And then we start teaching other people to hit that number, to accomplish that goal, but not respect the process. You got to respect the process.
That's good, man. That's good, because this is where you get into that situation where we all are athletes. We go back to those moments. How many times have you seen a coach at the end of the game saying, I didn't prepare my team? I didn't prepare my team. And what they're saying is, as nobody likes practice. Let's just be real. Right? The fun is when you put on the pads and you put on the jerseys, people are in the stands, and it's time to go and go against somebody else. But what practice is designed to do, the best coaches put you in positions to where you have to react to the changes of the pace and adapt to things that are weaknesses of your defenses or things that are weaknesses of your offenses, and expose you to a scenario. Long distance, short distance, goal line defense, right? 2-minute drill, 4-minute drill, Hail Mary prevention, right?
All of it.
All of it. And and what it does, the more you practice it, the more it takes the guesswork out of it when you're on the field. Because the difference I don't know if we've ever talked about this in terms of the difference of the levels of the game. Those that perform the best are the ones that can read and react the fastest. And the reason you can read and react the fastest is because you've been exposed to it, because you didn't go through the warps.
Yeah.
You didn't fast track through the scenarios. And that's why it's so important to follow the process that you're talking about, right? It's so important to develop in the dark.
Yeah.
To go through and prepare for a situation where you may not ever use. Man, think about what we go through in preseason preparing. That big notebook
Oh yeah.
that we go through.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The playbook that we go through. We get into the season. How that stuff we went through. We
spent all that time on that.
I got cussed out for nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a part of the process.
It's a part of the process because there may be that moment when we go to halftime and make that adjustment that the coach say, hey, y'all remember back?
Yep.
And you remember Coach Cheese would get on that board and say, hey guys, y'all, we went over this in preseason. We hadn't used it, but he'll draw it up on the board, and guess what we could do? We could recall
Absolutely.
the strategy of the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we've been there.
Gosh, you've been there.
But when you talking about it from an athletic perspective,
Come on, Eric, break
but
it down.
also applies in life and in your professional worlds as well. How many times we've dealt with situations in life that leadership has changed, laws have changed. Think about COVID, when our way of life has changed. Some people were able to read and react. Some people were able to adapt. Some people went, what you just said, Tony, in the dark to study.
Yep.
To learn those skills and to develop so that they can come out better on the other side. I remember on my job, when COVID hit, some people were just so accustomed to doing the exact same thing. The virtual world shook people up. You find some churches that were not used to going virtual. You find some companies that were not accustomed to going virtual. Now that they have been put in that experience, now they're able to come back on the other side and they're able to multiply themselves. Now you're able to multiply themselves because you took the long road. Now you've seen so many different ways of doing it. But I want to ask you, Tony, you talked about you and your cousin. Y'all played, you wanted that video game. You found out that you can go and play and you can go fast, but how did you feel once you had to take the long road? What did you do?
Man, it was so disappointing, right? To now have to figure out, like, the moment of knowing that I can beat the game, I can get to the end and beat it, but I cannot endure the journey. It messed me up, man. And now it went back to a point where my competitive nature did jump in finally. But I'll tell you, the first couple of times, Eric, I threw the game. I just cut it off.
Yeah.
And I walked away from the game and I said, why am I even doing this? I know how to beat it. But the challenge of going back and taking the steps that I had skipped, right?
You're impatient.
I had skipped through impatience, but going back and now the satisfaction of being able to go on every step and to say, I know how to beat every level of this game, right? To the point, I'm not even gonna lie, this is gonna be the funniest part. To the point that when I finally got to the point, the world before the end, once I got to the end and I knew what was there, I cut the game off. Because I already knew how to win. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could make it to the end. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what that was, though. You made the comment that I know how to beat the game. I've already beat the game.
I already beat the game.
But you didn't.
I didn't.
You didn't. When you made it to that world before the end, you finally had beat the game.
I finally beat the game.
That's when you did it, because now you've accomplished everything that there is to accomplish.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
But when we find ourselves being impatient, we rob ourselves of those experiences.
Absolutely.
We rob ourselves of those experiences. You robbed yourself of that time of being there in front of the game. We rob ourselves, when we're trying to rush to the end just to make numbers. We end up having undeveloped skills. Just because you got a person on your team that can do it, what happens when that person gets hurt?
Yeah.
You're impatient. You don't know anything else but hurry up, hurry up, do it, hurry up.
Yeah. This is a challenge, though, of knowing who to follow and who not to follow.
Oh. Yes.
Because my cousin, in that case, and who knows, Kevin, like, I ain't talking about you that bad. You may have knew how to win the game.
Yeah.
Right? You may have knew how to win the game without going through the warp. But the way you showed me was by warping through it. So in that example of coaching me through it, you coached me in patience.
Yeah.
You didn't coach me skill.
Yeah.
Right? So that's all I knew. So going back and realizing that, hey, I needed to go through this process, the challenge of that is I was put in a position where if the next person came behind me and asked me, how do you defeat this game? Guess what I'm going to show them?
Cheat codes.
I'm going to show them the cheat codes. So now I'm building an army of people that
Yeah.
don't know how to persevere, that don't know how to adapt, that don't know resilience,
Yeah.
right? That are short fused, that are going to give up easily because if they can't finish fast, they're not going to have the strength to endure the race.
Yeah.
And who am I as a coach now? I can say, I can demonstrate to you how to win, but I can't coach you to it.
The reason that this is an important topic here is because our world is evolving right now. Okay, all kind of AI tools are available to us now, and you think about it now. There's tools and platforms that's being provided that say that, hey, look, this is exactly what you do based off of some predictive analytical data that's there, right? And that's all well and good for us to be efficient with things. But if that's all you know and you don't know the foundations of how to get there, what about when your laptop dies when it's time to go into that sales? You find yourself just quoting things that you have no ability to do. So it's important, like I said, to go through the journey and the process, find to use shortcuts and things that's going to make you more efficient. But you better learn the process and the road to get there.
You got to. You got to. Because when you learn patience and stop being impatient, let's talk about the world that you just talked about. Let's talk about that world. You just said, Tony, you know how to get to the end of the game, but how often have we, as we're going through this journey in life, if we learn patience and not being impatient, this is a big old world. And there's a lot of things for us to experience through that process. I'm sure as you went through some of the different portals in the video games, you realize, you remember Super Mario Brothers, some of the pictures, again, we talk about the television, but some of the pictures of the trees and just some of the things that we saw out there. When you're slowing down, Kecalf, and being patient at work, when you're slowing down and being patient, in life, it's a lot of moments that you get to make. There's going to be moments that you get to make. When you're trying to get that job and you're trying to rush to the end, what if you slow down and take a moment to, okay, hey, I don't need you to do that right now. I want you to go on a couple of executive dinners. I want you to go with me for a couple of other executive presentations. Hold on, this how they do it over here? Huh? You showing me something else. Yeah. I'm rushing to try to get there because I'm trying to beat the game. We talked about this in a couple of other episodes, title chasing. But if you slow down a little bit, man, these are some experience that you get to have to travel around the world, to speak in different places, meet different people, instead of trying to rush to the end.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
Slow it down. Like there's just so many examples that we can use, and I think it's funny to use that video game reference, but there's so many things in life that we rush through, right? Whether it's being at a stoplight and running through that caution light, putting everybody in the car at risk as well as the cars around you. Rushing to finish your food so you're not digesting it as great. Right? I mean, even rushing through completing a paper, like when you was in college, or procrastinating your way and waiting to the last minute to where you being impatient. But impatience is very serious. I mean, we live in a day and time where, I think you all said it great, where every tool that's accessible to us is meant to create a sense of urgency for you to speed through it. And, be it cell phone, be it AI, be it whatever, it's hard to imagine. And I'm so thankful that we're old enough to be at this point. I don't know if Eric old enough, but at least we are to be at the point where we remember not having cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We remember not having GPS in our car. It's so faint now that I almost imagine, how did we survive?
Yeah.
Right? The fact that I could go, I'll never forget, is pulling over at rest areas and getting a map at the rest area and pulling out the map and saying, all right, we got to go here. And literally me being a little navigator for my dad, learning like, all right, Dad, we gotta, once we go 65 north, we're gonna have to cross over at 45 right here, and but we gotta go through West Memphis to get to. It like, I remember these moments, but today it's almost like if it's not even set up for you to be able to navigate without these tools. And my fear is that, right, to the point you made earlier, Kecalf, when the power goes out, when that battery runs out, when all of your skills have been based on impatience, now what you got? What you got, Eric? When it's all built on impatience, right? So I know it's tough to have the patience to go through the process, but it's a reason it's called a process. There's a reason you go through the process. There's a reason you prepare. We've used the analogy of farming several times in here in terms of planting seeds, right? It's a reason why there's a process where before the plant even breaks ground that it has to be rooted. So if it's not built on a firm foundation, if it's not properly rooted, and when it does break ground too early, the first sign of a storm that come through is going to wash that plant away. So I urge you all that in the days of where life is passing by, where you're celebrated on doing things fast, there is a time and place for being fast. But I tell you, the people that are going to really sustain, the people that are going to be there when the storms of life come, are going to be the patients that go through the process of being patiently building their skill set and capabilities to be prepared for what we don't see right now. Yeah. To where when you have to go and make that adjustment, you can go back and realize, I've already been exposed to this. I've not used this skill in a long time, but I know how to make it through. Yeah.
Man, I thank you for that. The story, and like that was a creative way to start out with Nintendo.
It's Nintendo.
You know what I'm saying? With a Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and see if I can find me a retro Nintendo and blow the cartridge out. You know what I'm saying? Try to play it a little bit with the joysticks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you for that, man. And if you're out there and you can afford to slow down and work on your impatience, we ask that you do that. Take a moment right now and reflect on something that you're rushing through the process. Enjoy the ride. Smell the roses and see what else is out there for you. We appreciate you for that. Mr. Kecalf Bailey, Tony Dixon, and I'm Eric McCalpine. Thank y'all so much for enjoying and watching the Tony Dixon and Friends podcast.